on? Although it says 5 minutes for me. Thank you, Chairwoman Titus, Ranking Member Meadows, and members of the committee, and particularly my Congressman Gary Graves for his kind words. I'm here to represent the National Association of Home Builders. I'm a custom home builder from Laplace, Louisiana, and we actually counted the numbers. We're up to 2,000 houses we built now. So, and one of the greatest pleasures I've had, and one of the most wonderful opportunities was after Katrina, which was this nation's worst disaster, we managed to pass a statewide uniform enforced building code in the state of Louisiana. We got 369 jurisdictions under a code with an inspector who was trained within 2 years. It was a masterful feat. So I know a little bit about adopting building codes and how to handle disasters. We had Katrina, we had Isaac, and then we had Baton Rouge, and we've done a great deal of recovery with that. Most of the state and local governments that adopt regulations to protect homes and their occupants from severe weather events and hazards, but you always got to remember this, that $1 that saves $11, it affects the initial purchase of the home. I can spend money and build homes such that we'll never pay a claim, but it'll be a very small percentage of people that can afford to buy that home. So we got to delicately balance how we make our homes more resilient and keeping them affordable to the people of America. The Bipartisan Budget Act contains several directives to make buildings more resilient. The law provides additional resources for implementation of building codes post-disaster. It allows certain funds to be used for code adoption and enforcement and requires repair and rebuilding of federally assisted facilities to follow certain building codes to make buildings more resilient. Many of these efforts are predicated on requiring the use of the latest published edition of certain codes or standards. We believe this is too prescriptive, too costly, and does very little to improve resilience and would discourage adoption. Currently, 49 states have adopted a residential code. Those states use as much as sometimes 3 years to review codes before they change codes. The codes are generally updated every 3 years. What happens if you do it repetitively every 3 years? You're having to retrain your inspectors, you're having to buy all new books and get all your new equipment. It's better to make a longer time between code adoptions. And to tell you the truth, I've been building houses since when we went from before the codes to the codes. It's about an 8% increase in cost. That was in 2005, 2006. We've adopted 3 more codes since then, and we really have been building the house the exact same way. There haven't been significant structural changes in the way we built the houses, even though there's 3 additional codes that were adopted. So we think the discovery of Dura, thank you, which was signed into law on October 5th, 2018, included an essential provision that defined the latest published building codes as the 2 most recently published editions of the codes on pre-disaster mitigation. We believe that this provides states with flexibility to follow its own code adoption, implementation, enforcement process, and will help encourage them to adopt the code.
I'm afraid we are down to 55 seconds to get over there and vote. So the committee will stand in recess and will reconvene 10 minutes after the end of the last vote to ask questions, and we appreciate